Simplicity is never a matter of circumstances. Simplicity is always a matter of focus. And Voskamp and my friends, each and every day, we focus on the simplicity of our method of tracking the market, literally using our Heikin-Ashi candlesticks, the volume, and our trend lines. And it's just that simple and effective. Let's jump first into the S&P 500. We see that it's up just a little bit today, 0.12%, but nonetheless up. We look at where the high was last week at 555.05 and again 556.25. So moving higher as one would hope and as we would expect. We are still long, of course. The S&P, we're not in that trade, but we are in the NASDAQ 100 and have been since the turnaround back here. We saw the interim low back on the 15th of April, had sort of a dead week, and then the green spinning top with average volume showing us that indeed there was a turnaround hopping in there. The worst point you could have gotten in was at the high of the week at 435.79, and of course now up well over $20 per share. So beautiful, up for the day 0.24%. Again, last week the high on the NASDAQ 100 was 496.60, 497.90, so we're going in the right direction. We can see again the 2-day candle moving up to a higher high, and as we look at the half day, we see things are up in the morning, up a little bit more in the afternoon. So again, things moving in the right direction on both our S&P 500, where the candles are above on the 2-day and the half-day that is above the weekly trend line. Same on the NASDAQ. Now let's take a look at where we are with 20-year U.S. government bonds. We had a down week last week. As this week is starting, we can of course see that we're starting off with a small green candle. Now again, I tell you to be very careful. These dashed lines can mislead you. When you look at where we are now, it looks like there's a bigger candle wick on top of the green candle for the week than there actually is. We move to the side, you see it's not there. We just have a very small green candle with a little bitty wick on top. As we look at volume, we can see that it is extremely low for the day. We look at the 2-day, we can see it's low there. It's not even halfway where one would hope it would be if it's going to get up to average volume. And of course, we look at the half-day. It is well below that prior trend line that was broken, of course, last week, but has been moving up for several days, 3 days, in fact. The 2-day candle was a doji. And again, the reason you see that doji there is we had a down move and then an up move. And of course, that was all encapsulated right there in that doji, showing you a great deal of indecision. Now, we do see that we had that prior 2-day candle Monday and Tuesday of last week, above average volume with a big down move, followed by lots of indecision, and then, of course, a little bit of moving up for this first day. And again, it's only 0.22%. We're not in this trade. There's been no volume to help us see a potential trade here. We're just watching, waiting to see when the 20-year U.S. government bond ETF is going to reset, and we'll have the possibility of trading it again. Let's go to gold. Gold is down big for the day. In fact, it's our biggest downer, down 1.24%. Now, as we take a look at gold, we can see where it had been up on Wednesday. Then, of course, markets were closed Thursday, up on Friday, big time, and then dropping off strongly. That's on the half-day chart. We look at the 2-day. We can see again where it peaked on that Wednesday, Thursday, and then Wednesday, Friday, again, close for the Thursday, 4th of July holiday. And then this week starting off much lower As we look at things, we can see the high last week on this weekly chart was 121.28, 120.04, so we're not reaching the high yet. Gold is just sort of meandering around. This is another one where we haven't had any volume for a long time, and we are not in gold. We do have this ceiling here, this purple line. The gold has bounced off a couple of times. We'll see if gold is going to try to make some kind of up move. We don't have any volume backing that up at all, or if it's just sort of like it's been doing, down for 3 weeks, sideways for 2 weeks, and now a little bit of up movement, maybe a second week. Not if this kind of down move from today continues, like 1.24%. So we'll keep our eye on gold now. HODL, of course, this is Bitcoin, and it has been going down very strongly lately. Now, we look at the low last week on Bitcoin, and that was 62. Let me see here. It's hard to see. Let me move this out of the way. 62.24. I'm sorry, the low of last week was 62.67. So we're down to 62.24 this week. Moving a little bit lower this week. Again, that's good to see. Again, we're in a down move. I have, of course, as I told you, I've been in this short for Bitcoin for quite a while. I jumped in on the afternoon of Friday the 14th of June. Within a short period of time, I'd hit my first sell point out at right at 7%. Let the rest of it ride. And of course, it popped up so beautifully for me on Friday with another doubling of that, another 7% or so that it gave me, and you can see where things peaked up nicely also on Monday morning. And again, losing some of that in the afternoon to basically finish pretty much flat for HODL. In fact, it is flat on BITI. If we go, well, as we look here, if we look at HODL itself, says it was down a little less than 0.2%. So again, that means moving in the right direction for us. And of course, I'm looking at the inverse fund when I'm at BITI. So again, moving down. What do we want to see with Bitcoin for future trading? Of course, not in the negative direction, is we want to see Bitcoin set up nice. We want to see some volume start to build, and we want to see a nice interim low with average volume, and then a turnaround and just a clean build up like we hope for in all of our ETFs. But right now, a lot of weight pushing Bitcoin down, and we'll just continue to ride that pony. My friends, thank you so much for being with us. As you know, I am traveling. I am overseas. I'm in Croatia today on a boat. I do have local phone service, so I will hopefully be able to upload. For some reason, my Starlink is not allowing me to upload to my WordPress and what I use at WordPress to be able to upload and send the emails out. If you noticed you didn't get your email and you didn't see the upload at the chartingwealth.com website until about midnight on Sunday, that's because I had to get to land to be able to use the data there, because the data at Starlink was blocking me as, I don't know, it's probably some self-protection thing built into their software, but it wouldn't let me load up to my web page. I did put everything else up, so if you're missing something, check the YouTube channel. We seem to always be able to get that up. God bless, my friends. All the best from the whole team at Charting Wealth World Headquarters.